Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Tang StarCraft here with a Zerg vs. Zerg tutorial video. Now today we're going to be looking at a safe but aggressive early opening in Zerg vs. Zerg. This matchup right now has been really tough to kind of find that balance. I don't know if you all have had the same experience, but I've been trying to do like a hatch first build, and then I just kind of die sometimes to Ling Baneling, like a one base all in. But then when I do like a one base all in, they do like basically a more greedy one base build, so I end up behind. And I'm just really struggling to find that balance right now. And for me, this build that I'm about to show you was really the missing link in my play, and it has helped me in my ZvZ immensely since I honestly stole it from Scarlet. So it's going to be a very early pool, probably earlier than you're used to getting, 13. So even before gas or anything like that, we're just essentially building one drone at the start of the game and getting this pool. And there it is. A little late, that's fine. And we're going to go right up to 15 before the Overlord. So we'll actually go drone, extractor, drone, cancel, and then up to 15 and then the Overlord. Cancel. We should see that Overlord. One small note is all these patches have done a good job of double mining. These close patches, right? This one, all double mining. And then the back patch is single mining for the most part. But the big thing is no triple mining patches. Trying to avoid those at all costs. Okay, Overlord's just going to wait for it and then get the 6 Lings. And that'll let me hopefully kill his expansion. And notice, right as I was about 350... 400 minerals, I was pulling this drone to expand. So the way it actually goes is you build these 6 Lings, and then right after it on 18 you're going to get that hatch. So you want to pull this drone a little early, like before those Lings start. So there we go. Even more Lings though should be building. Yep, right up to 19. And I get at least 10 Lings. 19, there we go. Queen next. Beautiful. And Overlord at 21. Awesome. So this is what I would call the opening. This is the opening aggression. It's just these 10 Lings while you get your expansion up behind it. And as you can see, these Lings are very quick to get across the map. Like, you should be arriving about 2 minutes. And if he has gone hatch first, he won't even have a single Zergling out. Now in this game, my opponent has actually opened with the one base Baneling. I don't know if it was 14-14 or 13-13. So really, this build that I've done, it's meant to be aggressive against a hatch first, but it will be purely defensive against a one base play because I'm taking my expansion. So I'm going to have an edge as long as I keep this up. But right now I don't even know this, right? So I'm just going to go scout, and when I see his lack of expansion, that's what's going to tip me off. So behind this, I'm only at 14 drones in the main. I am going to want to, after this Overlord on 21, squeeze out like the 2-3 drones, get the full saturation in the main, maybe get a spine on this high ground to transfer down. But anyway, let's see. One base all in. Now we get here, we scout, okay, no expansion. And we look up and we see, okay, Lings and stuff. So already I know exactly what he's doing. There's no way he's doing like a delayed expansion like this late. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's almost always going to be a one base Baneling all in. So what I should do is get one of these Overlords, perched behind, just to see when he times this expansion. So that's what this Overlord's doing. And meanwhile, back at home, I'll go back, I will build additional queens, pull my Lings back defensively, and get spine crawlers up. So this is one of the only ways I've found to actually hold an expansion against this really aggressive all-in. And actually be ahead, right? The real key of defending the 13-13 Baneling is not staying alive, it's actually staying in an economic favor. This game, I'm not sure why I'm spreading this tumor so early, but I think that's fine, considering I know what he's doing. And I'm actually, going to build this spine on the top of the ramp, and then, yes, continue building queens. So it's going to be an all-mineral defense. We're not going to try to squeeze out Banelings or speed or anything like that. It's all going to be about the queens with the transfuses and the spine crawlers and defending this ramp. So yeah, did not even engage one little bit at all with these Lings. Maybe lost one on the ramp. But mostly just going to pull back here. Yeah, even a queen building at the natural. It's very important to get up to like 4 queens if your opponent's being this aggressive. Because he's being so aggressive, I don't think I should be taking my drones to the expansion. That's kind of suicidal. I think I should just be kind of waiting until I've held this and then taking the Expo. But we'll see how this goes. So speed finishes. Notice this queen will not leave the ramp. It will hold the ramp. And then if these Lings try to run by, hopefully I'll be able to complete the wall in, either with another queen or with Zerglings. But it's very important in Zerg vs. Zerg early defense to be respecting the power of the ramp and getting those queens in position early and just, you know, standing there in awe of how much damage queens can prevent you from taking. So this is fine. These initial Lings are paying dividends just defensively. And I'm going to get this second spine here. So, yeah, here's why I don't think I should have transferred the workers down, is he's just going to be annoying with his speed. I won't have speed, so I can't really prevent this. Trying to keep that spine alive. Now that the second... Ah! Well, that, I didn't even see those banelings coming. I'm just going to go back for a quick second. Okay. So we're doing this kind of ring around the rosy. I am forced to pull back home with these drones. Luckily, these Banes weren't anywhere close. And here's where the point is, where I would love to be walling the ramp with these two queens, and then just spreading out these Zerglings. And, like, he's probably going to be able to kill this spine, but it's not that big of a deal, as long as I get this one down. So that was unfortunate. I didn't even see his Baneling, so I ran all my Lings into one Baneling. Actually killed both of the Banelings, so it was a bit lucky. But I lost all my Lings for that. So he's going to be able to cancel this one spine crawler. I will restart it. Against any early Ling Bane pressure, I want 2 spines. That's just me. And I want to be able to have at least one of them in range of the ramp, so that if he's trying to attack these queens down, there's a spine poking the whole time. Notice, I have scouted with this Overlord, still no expansion. So I do not need to be into drones just yet. I should pretty much just be building Lings and queens and spines and stuff, because my only advantage right now, is that I have an expansion. So if I lose that for any reason, the game's essentially done, because look at my income. I'm actually technically lower. But as you'll see, this expansion really pays dividends. Just keeping it alive. Third queen comes out. I now have this spine in position, another spine coming, even another queen, up to a total of 4. Up to 5, in fact. And again, I don't really mind that because my opponent hasn't expanded, so I feel like I have the edge the longer this game goes. I can always drone at another time once I've held all this pressure. So these 2 queens on the ramp, not spreading creep, just saving up energy. Want to be able to keep my spines alive, want to be able to transfuse other queens. Starting to slowly squeeze out some drones, at least hit the 16 in the main. Really, I don't think he's going to even do this, and if he does, it'll get shut down completely, because I'm going to have 3 transfuses, 2 spines, and a total of 5 queens. Very, very safe now to be actually droning, I'd say. Sitting here with this Overlord thinking he's going to come in, but nope. And even more Lings coming across the map. But around the point I've decided I'm safe, which is now. I mean, these spines are in position at the front. I got lots and lots of queens, even a few Slow-Lings just in case he tries to do a little run by over here. So I'm feeling really good about my defensive situation in this game. That's why now I'm starting to drone. And I actually even saw that he had taken his expansion. So that was an indication that he was also going to kind of drone out of this. So yeah, anyway, my point here is, now that I'm safe, I'm going to be transferring over to the expansion, getting the gold saturated, and also getting the double gas pretty quickly in the main. And that's going to let me either counterattack pretty soon or go up to a Lair myself. So he's actually gone for a very fast Lair, probably for a Spire. And I'll be looking to hit him before the Spire's out, or I'll just match him in tech, just be a bit behind. But ahead economically. Like behind in tech, because I haven't started my Lair. Okay, so nope, it's going to be the Roach option this game, and just because there's no Evo chamber, and just by the timing of this Roach horn, I can kind of tell it's going to be aggressive. I'm going to want to hit before the mutants are out. So I've fully saturated my natural, and I'm working to saturate the main a little better. Lots of Overlords. This supply block is actually unfortunate. And how are we doing economically if we look at it? Ahead in mineral income, technically lower in harvesters, but I mean, we've had our gold up for so long, we've been mining a fair bit from it, not too much, but at the very least we're ahead of our opponent, and that's all that really matters. So there's the Spire going down very early. I think I'm still in droning phase. No, actually, here I'm going to switch right into roaches. I want to hit a very aggressive timing. I think this is a good choice because I don't really know what my opponent's doing. I saw a very late expansion. So really, the only thing I can assume is he's probably teching pretty hard. Right here, lots of Overlords. Going to go into a lot of roaches. These are not meant to be defensive. I feel very safe. These are meant to push across the map and get me an advantage. Probably go up to 8 or 12, somewhere around there. Roach count. Little tip, it's nice to be hotkeying the roaches on a separate control group than your Zerglings. Yeah, it looks like 12 roaches. Even more Overlords, don't want to get blocked. Speed is on the way for the Lings, and yeah, the roaches are going to push out. The Speedlings are all building, and they're going to rally on. I actually might need them defensively for me. Oftentimes, that was actually kind of cool. He came in and held position to try to kill these workers, and I didn't even touch them, and I didn't lose a single one. So if he's doing that hold position micro, don't worry too much about moving the drones, especially if you have other units there. But as you can see right here, he's got the Spire done. He's already into muta production, but what does he have on the ground? 6 Banes and 8 Lings, right? Not enough to deal with this kind of army. So this should do a lot of damage, even though these mutas could be pesky if the game moves too much further. This is largely just an A-move situation. I'm trying to kill all his workers, trying to kill probably the hatch to be a better target. Against mutas and lings and stuff, I try to avoid doing a lot of running around, like running into his main and trying to snipe too much stuff, because the longer you're moving around, the more damage those mutas are doing. So I'm going to take the guaranteed damage here of all these workers and this base. Meanwhile, I'm going to start droning behind it because it's mutas. I'm going to get some queens. Keep an eye on that production tab. My goal will be to fully saturate both bases with all the gas and move towards like Queen, Hydra, maybe some infestors. But this is giving me such momentum to just drone freely. Yes, he has mutas, but really, what is he going to do? I have already the 5 queens I started with. I'm building 2 more. That's going to put me at 7. And just because I'm extra safe against mutas, I'm probably going to start building a bunch of spores too. So no real threat from these mutas from my Inca, which has pulled very significantly ahead of my opponent. Oh, rallying drones out onto the map for that crucial scouting information. No, don't ever do this. This is clearly a mistake. These drones are going to their death. Come on, go home. Go mine. Thank you. Doing a little run-bys, just trying to keep those mutas killing anything while I build all these spores and trees and stuff. Ooh, but as you can see, back at home, very safe. I'm even going a little overkill on the spores, I think, just because I know how ahead I am. Still building queens. I should see that lair soon. I've really been banking up the gas, and that's intentional. I want a lot of gas when I hit my lair so I can either get some infestors right away or move towards hydras. We'll speed through the ending stages. I feel very, very, very much like I have a big lead at this point. Infestation pit, Hydra Den, more queens. Most of my minerals go into queens. Gonna get this pathogen glands right away, even 2 more queens, see. Once pathogen's about halfway, not even, I'll start the infestors. 10 of them this game. Usually you don't get that many on 2 base. But as you can see, really gearing up for this anti-muta timing. Like 10 plus queens, like 11, 10 infestors, which are banking up energy too, and then the rest just hydras. So I have options. I mean, I could totally take a 3rd base right now. Maybe even a 4th too, and macro out of this. But I think I'm just going to push and try to end it. This is going to be a slow push. It's even at 2x, it's going to feel slow because queens take forever. And I want to engage with the queens. I don't want to run out ahead with the infestors or hydras in the sky. Maybe the queens could have moved out a bit earlier, so I could have arrived about now. But this is looking pretty good. He's just now getting the hydras out, not going to have lurkers. Good fungal. Be a very one-sided fight. GG. So that game was a little different, right? The opponent opened with a 1 base all in, and honestly, I felt like I reached an advantageous spot because of that. Being gasless and being just on a mineral economy, I feel like I'm able to hold my expansion because I get more queens and more spines, and even though Slow-Lings in this game didn't pay much value, but in other games, they can be the difference of defending that type of thing. So I felt like I got into an advantageous spot in the mid-game. What I did from there was really completely up to me. In this game, I went for a Roach timing, which did really well, killed this expansion, but I mean, you could easily just take all the gases, go mute it yourself. There's really no right or wrong way to transition out of this. I'm going to look at one more game, ideally one that's not a Ling Bane all-in from my opponent. I think this one. Vister. Mr. Vister. Okay, so just a quick recap of this build. It's just going to be one drone and then the pool. Very complicated. Pool, pool, pool. Nice. A couple more drones. Extractor trick. And when the Overlord pops, we'll make those 3 sets of Lings and push right away. So, notice, about the time you're starting these Lings, or maybe a bit before, I'm pulling this drone to go build that hatch. And then Lings hotkey moving out. So the hatch gets built by 120. Should see... No, we're good. I should see one more Ling before the Queen. Yeah, there we go. Up to 19 before the Queen. Awesome. Overlord next. And this time I actually see... Aha! He's gone for... Looks like a pool first. So like kind of a safer gasless expand. But we'll see how safe this is. I don't think he'll be able to save it. Even though he's getting into Ling production and Queen early, I think he'll have to cancel. Behind this, I've already started droning, right? I hit 21, I get the Overlord. Queen's already on the way, and then I get a drone and probably queue up that second Queen. I'm just going to take a quick look back at these macro steps. Yeah, so queuing up the second Queen. Overlord about to pop, or already did. Yep, just finished here. And I'm going to try to get to 16 out of 16 in the main, and then just be pumping the Queens and Spines and stuff. But I will force this cancel. Damage done. That's enough as far as I'm concerned. Enough damage to make this worth it. But if I can do a little bit more, great. And I am. He's double gassing in the main. He's getting another Queen. He's building a Spine that he doesn't need. And this is one thing I like about this 13 pool build is they don't know a lot of the time whether you've gone gas, whether you're going mass Ling Baneling behind it or whatever. This is actually quite light pressure. It's just 10 slow Zerglings meant to pressure while I take an expansion, but unless they drone scout, they don't really know that. So you get tons of information from this. You get the timing of their expansion, you get all, you know, what units they're building, what gases they have, all kinds of information you get. But it kind of forces them to play in the dark a little bit. Meanwhile, back at home, I can probably inject this game. I might spread the tumor to the expansion. We'll see. This is really nice. Gonna get up here and scout and see what. Ooh, cancel that. That'll be yeah. 25 minerals. It adds up. And at this point, I'm feeling really good, right? Obviously, I've canceled his expansion, and he's built this Spine. Like, I don't really see how I could be behind at this stage. I think I've definitely pulled ahead. Yeah, like, this is always misleading, right? Being a little lower at this point is because I have an expansion up, and I've been building Queens. But the longer this game goes, the much better economic phase I will have. It's a weird way of saying I'll be ahead. Okay, so behind this, I should have this Queen actually positioned just a bit to the right, just so I can always be checking out that expansion timing. But the big thing here is he hasn't tried to retake it yet, so I'm thinking he's probably going to be counter-aggressive, which is why. Spine Crawler, you know, more Queens. I mean, most games I would do this anyway, building one Spine Crawler at the expansion and going up to 4 Queens, but I might even go up to 2 Spies or something if he hasn't retaken this. And he still hasn't, so I think we could see a second spine about here by now. Over here. One tumor to connect the bases, one to kind of just spread out in this area. What is my opponent doing? I have no idea. But there's the second spine, just in case. I like it. We are into drones here. It could be Slow-Lings if I was in a real crisis mode, but most times I think you're safe just to drone here. If I saw Lings out on the field with my Overlords, I might get a couple Slow-Lings. But more importantly, back at home, we are getting that double gas around 3 minutes or so. It should be actually about 30 to 36 supply that you're getting these double gas. And then what we do from here is really up to us. Most times I go roaches, so we'll see if that's the case in this game. And most times I also get supply blocked at 36, so please, please, please don't follow in my footsteps in that regard. Try to get the Overlord around like 30, 29, 28, whatever. Just get that Overlord earlier. Because notice I have a lot of larvae right now, and injects will be going down, so it's not good to get blocked here. Of all times to get blocked, not here. Just in terms of the placement here, I don't mind the spine too much. I mean, in theory it could be tucked here with like an Evo chamber helping to wall it in. Something like that would be better. But the big thing is this ramp should be walled, especially if I'm not 100% sure whether he has a big Ling force on the map. But, I mean, I should be safe. 4 total queens, some Lings, 2 spines. We're looking pretty good. Except for the supply block. Holy shit, this is taking forever. We need another Overlord. This is a stylistic preference, but I like to go double Evo chamber when I'm at about 100 gas. And that'll let me get both of the upgrades started right when the Evo chambers finish. Yeah, this pressure really doesn't have a lot of potential to do damage. I mean, with 2 spines up and the queens to transfuse it, you can tank all day. I'm not a huge fan of this placement, looking at it. Like, this does completely wall in this side, but it's just a bit weird. I would prefer... Well, I'm not going to nitpick it too much. Yeah, so Evo Chambers, Roach Warren, we'll get that +1/+1, then the Lair. And I still haven't scouted that my opponent hasn't expanded. He's actually doing some sort of like 1-base Lair Roach all-in, so we'll see. Oh, I think I remember this game. Okay, so there's the +1/+1 right when the Evos are done. Right when the Evos are done. Alright. And really, we should just be droning our expansion still. If we look at the income, obviously we're ahead, but we would like to be... If I could actually nitpick this a bit, I would go back in time and take the gases just a little earlier, prioritize the drone count a little more, and get the 1/1 just a bit later, etc. Just to have a little bit more income, mineral income early. But I mean, this isn't bad by any means. It's not terrible. Should be seeing that Lair go down, and then Overlords. We really should not be blocked all game long. 1 Overlord, and then Lair? Yeah. My big mistake in this game, though, is I haven't scouted that he hasn't expanded. And if I did, I would know he's probably either going to 1-base Spire or 1-base Nidus. And coincidentally, it's going to be a Nidus. He's already moving the Overlord to do it here. And if I knew that, if I knew he didn't expand and stuff, I would just be massing Roaches. But I didn't really deduce that for some reason in this game. So really, from about here, 44 supply, this is where I would start the Roach production. If I knew he had still no expansion. But I don't know that, or at least didn't think in this game, so I'm still powering to full 2-base saturation. Spreading lots of creep. Gassing the natural, going up to 3. Oh, 4. Geez, extra greedy. Still powering workers. I'm about to get wrecked, I think, because of this. Ugh. So now I know, right? And we have the Overlords building, and I'm like, shit, okay, Roaches, build Roaches, yeah. Oh yeah, all 3 that I can get. Huge, huge, huge errors in terms of Overlord timings in this game. Lots of supply blocks, so something I'll be looking at in the future. Yeah, but here we go, Mayhem. No chance of defending this base, I think. No. With, what, 4 Zerglings on the field? 5 Zerglings and some queens. So definitely just want to evacuate this base. I mean, there's no way he has the income I have. 43 drones is a hell of a lot. So really what I'm thinking about here is, well, I'm going to lose this base. I don't really have a lot of larvae. I'm going to try to get like another hatchery up and just mass roaches. I just need to get roaches on the field and then I win. I have 7 buildings. That's quite enough. Hold the drone. Luckily, I have these 2 spines here, and with the ramp and the queens and stuff, I feel like you can't push down into my natural. I feel safe down here, especially with the roach production coming out. Even a Ravager. I should go up to 2 or 3. Yeah, good. 1-1 finish. And I should be looking to take this space as soon as I have the minerals, which I do. Luckily, my Roach one was built at the natural, so even though he's going to be able to kill my pool, I'm easily going to be able to keep up Roach production. That's really all I need. And I mean, yeah, he's killed this base and it sucks, but he, first of all, has had a lot of drones helping out with this attack, so his mining is very low, and he still hasn't taken a natural. So yeah, we're back to 1 base versus 1 base, but I have 1-1. I have a crazy economic lead, and as long as I'm able to stabilize on some additional bases, I don't really see how I lose this. Transferring workers, that's ill-advised. Don't know about the Nidus just yet. I'm gonna have to cancel this base, probably. Still don't feel like I have enough units to defend it. He's just got too much stuff. So I'm just gonna wait, keep building roaches, maybe expand up to here, try to kill this Nidus. Try to kill the Nidus. Am I gonna take this? Probably not, no. Force him to pull back. I just want to defend this ramp for now, I think. Still feeling in an advantageous spot. I really want another base. Oh yeah, here we go. So now my army, I think, is big enough to contest his. And really, like, there's no more threat. I could actually even lead, but I'll just scoot through. Even gonna retake the main. Transfer drones to the natural, the new natural. And just mass roaches. Just now getting the spawning pool back. Saturating the space completely. Like, just the income has really been the difference. Oh my gosh, so many Niduses. That actually would have been really cool if these had sniped the Nidus like right when it spawned somehow. I don't even know if they're in range. He finally killed that Overlord, so he can't do that Nidus anymore. Just the supply tells him to tail at this point. Not much finesse here. Okay, so just a quick recap. I'm a big fan of that 13 pool opening. I really think that it is the missing link for a lot of players as far as being aggressive while also staying safe. It's really one of the only gasless openings that work right now, because you get your expansion so early, you're able to get the spines and stuff pretty early, and because you've delayed gases entirely, or skipped gases entirely in the early stages, you do have a comparable mineral income, no matter what your opponent has done. So it's a nice way to cancel their expansion, keep them contained to 1 base while you guarantee your expansion, and then from there, with the queens and spines defensively, you should be, safe against any kind of pressure. And then into the mid game, you can move with an advantage, hopefully, and get into like the +1 speed roaches off of a fully saturated 2 base while you take your 3rd or something like that. In a more normal game, these ones were a little less standard. Anyway, that's gonna cover it for this tutorial. I will include the build order, at least the opening, so that you guys can try this out in your own games. And just want to say thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm Tang StarCraft. Please check out www.tangstarcraft.com for StarCraft 2 coaching. Cheers.